you so toe to toe with you. Okay. And that's what I noticed. And I was congratulating the women that I went into a space, seeing them talk differently. And I don't know if I have anything to do with that, but I've actually have tried to be a sense of tone of calm. Okay. Even when people have actually pushed they, but they notice, Joe and Carl, when someone pushed me, like there's this one sister, Nicole and TS, uh, they can push you. And what they notice, Carl and Joe, that I can go to HELLLLL off, okay, and not use profanity, not lose my intellectual dialogue and area, and speak with such a tone and authority that I think some of the women that have been hearing this notice the way I'm navigating and seeing those sisters here, hearing those sisters speaking in such a softer tone, even with some of the men that they know are very angry. Man, it was very powerful. Go ahead, Joe.
Um, no, but I was just speaking on, to me that's a certain level of effeminate energy or a feminine authority or just a feminine energy when I hear men saying bro to women, even their girlfriends or wives or fiancés, they're saying bro. And I'm just like, I mean, do we have to follow every trend? Because to me that just sounds so, I don't know. I mean, this is the person you're gonna lay in bed next to, and you a man, and you calling her bro.
Mm,
To me, it doesn't make sense, and it's heading in a in a wrong direction. But it's very indicative of this day and age and the more effeminate energy that is had in men today.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so how do we try to take that and change that? Okay, and I think you need to see that in action. Okay, you actually have to be able to recognize that in action, so one could understand how they come from out of that and everything. But it's a lot of males who are calling themselves men that don't know how to navigate in a masculine position without coming across feminine or out of control. Like, a sense of social emotional imbalance. Okay. They don't know how to navigate and still, get their point across without losing their sense of control. And that's something that needs to be taught and experienced and witnessed before you can actually master it. Would you agree, Joe?
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree totally. You have to walk in your masculine authority. You have to walk in your masculine authority. The old saying was, if you have to tell your wife that you the head, you already lost the battle.
Mm,
Say that
mm.
again, Carl. That's right.
The old saying was, if you have to tell your wife you the head, you'd already lost your battle. You're supposed to walk in your headship, in your leadership. You don't have to tell nobody who you are. You walk in it.
That's military too. A lot of people don't realize that that's what we learned in the military. There's a saying when an officer who comes from West Point and everything, we got these officers that come, to go to West Point, okay, and after they get their West Point and they graduate and they become commissioned officers, you have many of them that come into the unit and everything, and they want to rule from their collar, okay, versus rule from earning respect from authority. So they don't know how to walk in their authority. They try to come and rule from their collar. So we non-commissioned senior officers tell them, sir, I can respect your collar, but I don't respect you, sir. As long as you throw that sir in there, it ain't disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? So it's attack. And when you got an officer, and it's the same thing when a man is in his home and is ruling from his, he has to rule from his position of being a man, realizing that he doesn't have to do that. He just needs to walk in his authority. And there's difference from walking in your authority than walking in with your collar. And I mean, it's funny you said that, but I've seen that in the military. An officer, so when you have an officer, officer, that says in the military that when you have an officer, we are supposed to what? As an uncommissioned officer, we supposed to obey our officers appointed over us. Okay. But what officers don't realize, a lot of them have come to realize, is that when you have non-commissioned officers who are also walking in their authority, you only rule over them when you earn their respect. Did you catch that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, and real quick, if anyone can, I appreciate it if you share the show. I know, Carl, you already did, but just share the show on your page, share the link, and appreciate that. I did put it in the chat as well for a quick grab. But yeah, please go ahead.
And tell everybody who we are, bro. Tell where we come from. People, they see this. I ain't your black. They don't understand where that may be coming from. What you explain to them what that's all about for those people who get to listen to this show later.
Well, the I Ain't Your Black show is based off of the book written by a Meshorn T. Floyd Daniels, and that would be Uncle Meshorn. Followers not allowed. And the book is I Am Not Your Black, or I'm Not Your Black, America. And we're real avid about using that comma because ultimately it dictates something when that comma is there. It lets you know that, hey, this is directed towards, we say America, but ultimately the dominant majority. All right. And that's not necessarily color. That is the dominant majority, those that control the monopoly board that we all play on. We are speaking to them in that book. And with the new book coming out, I Am Messiah, we're coming from a particular point of view, letting you know that you have authority as well. So with that being said, again, this is the I Ain't Your Black show. And it's Mr. Just Ask Joe, as well as Uncle Meshorn. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube as well. Right now, even the show is being streamed live to all those platforms. So we appreciate you here, and we can keep it moving. I'm going to go ahead on the social media platforms, and we're going to actually play the intro to the show as we are talking here. So there you go, Uncle Me.
All right, appreciate that, man. And so, what got us here, and now maybe Carl can help me. What got us here is when I first joined I came in here, I'm a retired military person, so I came here with all my arrogance and my elderliness about to turn 65. And immediately the young folks text me. They text me. And actually, they text me in such a manner that, if many of them would have been in my presence, the hell out of them. Called me some names and everything. I wasn't used to being disrespected when you were a senior young officer with grown children. You done went through college and you done retired. Your wife and you are retired, and you got folks talking to you all crazy and everything. It was kind of a new thing for me to deal with and everything, but and to the point that they actually decided to throw me off the island. they decided to throw me off the island, but I stepped coming back. I wouldn't allow them to keep me off the island. I decided to keep coming back to the point now that I think I have earned some cred, some level of respect and everything in the game and everything. But in that process, I have to admit I learned something. I never knew what tethered meant. Didn't know what being a tethered was, so I had to be educated what a tethered was. Okay, and then I also had to hear multiple times that we who are baby boomers or the elders, we are the reason why they're suffering or why many of them are suffering what they're
It's
suffering.
your fault.
It's right. It is your fault. And multiple times I was going to spaces and they kept saying, I was the problem and you are the problem. Your generation is the reason why we suffering and everything. So, I owned it. I owned it. And so I decided, I kept hearing the word NIGGDER constantly being thrown all over the place, and to the point that they even allow people who they call tethered to use it. And I have had Carl, I have been in spaces where they have allowed people of European descent to use the word and get away with it, man. I'm like, bro, this y'all, I mean, y'all special kind of people and everything. When y'all done got it to the point that you even willing to allow other people because you have become friends and acceptable. But I ain't
Then
got
why ends? Then why ends?
YNs, man. That YNs, they even to the point because they've become so many friends with these Africans or people who can say they black, and then many of their, European male friends and that they sitting under spaces and they using the N word and everything to the point that as an elder that does not like the word being used at all, period, is no excuse to use the word, as far as I'm concerned. So I kind of came up with this acronym for NIGGER. Do you know what that acronym is, Joe? You know that acronym? You know what that acronym I came up with?
Yeah. I heard that acronym. You say it the best though.
Never is great, good, ever repeated. That's the acronym for NIGGER. Never is great, good, ever repeated. And so it's my intent as an elder, since I'm blamed, being blamed for the conditions and the things. So I think it is my elder responsibility to strike down that word. Carl, does that make sense? I mean, if you're going to blame me for something, let me do something to help out. Okay. You see where I'm
Yeah,
going with this?
I agree totally. I recall years ago they were supposed to went to the cemetery and buried that name.
Right.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
tell me about it.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find the YouTube of that. But I remember a group was supposedly went to the cemetery and buried that word so it wouldn't be used anymore. So
Mm.
again, use, and that's when they started using the word NIGGA. It's not they,
And reference I GGER is just as bad as you might not GGER. I mean, you don't mean, yeah. Oh, I'm the X. No, look, hey, whatever. No, no, it's just as bad. Okay.
well,
Yeah, yeah. This Joe go. What you say, Joe? It's
Next in U.S. of the African royalty.
the Joe. What if I'm speaking it in the royal terminology? Nah, brother. Let me say to you, it's still a G. I'm hoping people hear Okay, let's of it and maybe bury that thing and turn it into something positive, the nonsense that it is today. And I think what is a great way to say if we can, you no longer see Niger, but is great ever
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America. I ain't your black.
I look at everybody. I be like,
I'm like, no, your black, Mr. Just As Joe and
no, he ain't right. Everybody didn't know what I was actually putting. No, he ain't right, people. This dude ain't right. There's something ain't. He ain't one of us. I was saying it. He's not one of us. He's not one of us. And nobody would hear me. And it was that I knew that I was not going to put. Now, it was simply a principle, right? But now, what do we think about Obama today? Come on now. Was he one of us?
Not at all.
Was that a good principle? Was that not a hell of a principle to be able to determine if someone was one of us? What they were basically saying that he did not get taught by brothers how to speak and be masculine in front of dominant culture. That's all he did. That's all that was about. Because if you talk to any brothers like myself that come from the military, if you talk to any brother, anyone, if you got fathers or uncles and they served in the military 21 plus years, and if they're E7 and above, stayed in like I have, E7 and above, and you got any brothers, fathers, uncles, and they're done 21 years or more in the military, we are some masculine, arrogant, cocky, badass brothers. Period. We don't take no SHIT from nobody, okay? Because the military teaches us that we can navigate any, especially when you make E7 and above, I can go anywhere I want to. Matter of fact, culturally, we have less respect for that. Every time I wear my E7 hat and I walk in a community where it's everybody in the room of European descent, I get all respect. They don't see my color. They know I've served this country, and if you come wrong, I will check you. Okay? We are taught to be arrogant, good, and hold our peace. So when that brother said that when you see any black man put his hands in his pocket speaking from the podium, that means that he's not been mentored culturally by us. Now, of course, Obama later on no longer was doing that. But I truly believe God meant for me to see. Carl, what do you think God meant for me to see that, right?
Oh, yes, it did. Confirmation.
Yes. Yes. And later on, even though he did win the White House and everything, and and he did do 8 years, we all now know he's not the president. He's not the president that we thought he was. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna tie it into the title. He ain't the black that we thought he ought to be. Can we clown with that a little bit? Oh, but can we? Matter of fact, I'm gonna say it first and see. Can we say that Obama wasn't the black that we thought we voted for? Okay. Anybody want to agree with that or not? Was Obama the black that we thought we voted for? Yes or no? Anybody? Can I get any response? Okay. Anybody in here? Is Obama the black that you voted for? If you voted for Obama, was Obama the black that you thought he was? And can I get a response? Anybody who voted for Obama? Okay, I see. Watch says no. Okay, are you agreeing what I'm saying, or are you putting down what I'm saying? Okay, like I need to know from what you want to come up and speak. I need to know where you're coming from. Are you agreeing what I'm saying? Or are you putting down? Are you against what I'm saying? Okay, what about you, Golden Dex? Did you vote for Obama? What about you, Mr. Miles? Did you vote for Obama? Hey, Joe, you'll make them available. Then all you who's on board. Who on here voted? I know Carl did. Carl, you didn't vote for Obama, did you?
We already had that discussion.
Joe, did you vote for Obama?
I did, and I discussed that just the same. That
Yeah.
yes, I did vote for Obama, and the first time, and by the second time, I was not a fan.
Yeah, you knew that he wasn't that. You knew he wasn't the black you thought he was supposed to be, right?
Exactly.
Somebody else
Exactly.
want to give some context to this? Did you vote for Obama? Watch.
So yeah, first and foremost, salute to you, salute to the host, salute to everybody in here. Yes,
Appreciate it.
yes, of course. The first time my grandma, she's 104 now. She was 90. I can't remember. She was 90 something at the time, and Rome, Georgia. That's where and she said, "Baby, we gotta." And I said, "Yeah, we gonna vote for the black president." At the time, I thought, that was the thing to do, but he soon there proved that he wasn't about shit. And if anything, the only people he did anything for was the LGBTQ, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
them and the Jews.
And the Jews, and the
and the
They,
Jews.
they
Jews,
get
and the Jews.
they got 12 mil.
Yeah, they actually got $12 million out of him. Okay, out of him. Okay, and nobody talks about that, but that's actually he got to. He gave the Jewish whatever it was. He gave them $12 million, and then how he showed love to the LGBTQ. And when he did this, bro, as a military guy, hey, brother, especially all the brothers. But when he put the LGBTQ, the rainbow, on the White House, oh Lord, oh, you might have thought you burnt the damn flag, man. I got, oh, brother, I could tell you when that happened. Oh, everyone I knew, every military partner I knew, we knew something wrong with this dude. I'm just telling you, come on. I mean,
That
I knew something was wrong with him, but when he put the LBGT colors on the White House, oh, I just, this guy, this guy. I mean, I knew something was wrong when he did the no ass, no tail. I said, this dude ain't served in the military. I served in the military. We knew people were gay. We knew they were in, we knew you were gay and you knew you was lesbian. But guess what? I ain't asking, and goddamn don't tell. Okay, we ain't asking, and we ain't don't tell. That was the standard, meaning what you doing in your private time and who are you doing ain't got a damn thing to do with the mission. I don't need to know, and I'm not asking you to tell me. Okay. Now I thought that was a good. I mean, tell me if that's not good, Joe. Carl, no
that that
ass.
that that
No
was the
tell.
that was a good standard, and I thought that was a standard that all of us could live by. Now,
Yes.
now you want everybody in your business, and you want everybody to affirm and agree with your business.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's okay to be purple hair out of uniform.
Man, I was already out when that went down, man. I'm an E7 too, so I heard the people were leaving the military because these people came out of the woodworks, okay? E7s and above, first sergeants, officers, and everybody coming out the wall and flaming in uniform. They said it was crazy. I couldn't imagine. I went in 1978. Just so y'all understand, we knew there were gays and lesbians among us, but serving our country was way more important than caring about what you do in your private time. As long as you was in that uniform and you represented that, you didn't represent your private affairs. You represented the United States of military and who you serve. Nobody give a damn about what you're doing in your private time. I thought that was a good rule. No ass, no tail. Obama struck that down. I knew this man was a closet gay, and when he put the LBGT colors on the White House, I knew this something not right with this guy.
And now we all need to have a gay friend in order to have some empathy.
Oh, did you have to go there? Oh, come on now. Who
I mean, I think that sealed it
that
for
that's the third
everybody.
thing that sealed it, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean,
Thank
in
you.
this day and age, that sealed it. For those that were on the fence, for those that weren't it, when he said that recently, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that said, you know what, he's not it. He's not it.
Hey, Watch, you want to say something? I see your hand up.
Yeah, and I gotta what I hear y'all on your last and final straw with him, but mine last and final straw, and where I come from the American Negro side of the camp, and
Okay.
where he burnt his ass with me was taking that out of the lexicon, because I think that is a staple and something that was done intentionally by him to make everyone flat black. So to where he could fit in the American Negro car and everyone could fit in ours. So yeah, that was
Oh,
my
yeah.
that was my last straw with him. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? You
he
make
would be Obama would be considered as a tether.
right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He would be considered a tether, and that Kamala Harris will be considered a tethered. Okay, exactly. Hey, you know what, Watchman, and yes, Watch. Thanks for remind. You are so right. Why did he go to the extra mile to remove Negro? Man, I didn't think about that until you said it. Well done, bro. Why did he go to the extra mile to eliminate Negro? Because he was trying to open the door for all immigrants and anyone who can pass as black, because Negro specifically is like freemen, descendants of American slaves. Okay, when you say you're a Negro, you know that you're referring to those who were born and raised here in the United States of America. Okay, but when he did
Before the Civil War.
and before the Civil War. Whoa, bro. I think you just, man, and I had never put two and two together in there, bro. Thank you for dropping that, because, man, did that truly expose what he was trying to do. We're going to have that conversation. Matter of fact, I may have the title, Joe, we may have the title of the conversation. Matter of fact, we may have the title. When did you know something was not right with Obama? When- Come on. You think we should have title?
I changed it to, was Obama the black you thought he was?
Oh yeah. All right, cool. I didn't even see that. Yeah, was Obama the black you thought he was? Exactly.
Mr. Miles got his hand up.
Go ahead, Mr. Miles.
Hey, good evening, fellas. How you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Thank you for calling me up. You was talking about immigration, right? You
Yeah, I was talking about
immigrants.
immigration. Yeah.
Immigrants. Do you know how many immigrants we have in the United States?
Man, I mean, based on what I've said, we got I think over 20 million or more.
You talking about the
No, no.
illegal ones, or
I'm
the
talking about
all,
illegal. So
the legals and the illegal immigrants?
Yes, the immigrants. Yes, how many?
Legal and illegal?
We talking about legal. We
no,
talking
I
about
don't know.
legal.
I don't know.
You-
What's number?
I look at the records and say we have we number one They said we have 52.38 million. It's up to the percentage like 15. They like 15% of the population in the United States. You got that?
Wow.
And that sounds like the legal number.
Yeah, it's the legal.
So you add another 20 million of the illegal, so you're at 70 to 80 million immigrants.
Yes. So that's what I'm getting. I'm trying to get to. So this we was talking about President Obama, and I thought he was too for us. 'Cause I was living up in this town. I was living up in Michigan, and I was pulling for Ford down there in
Right.
Kentucky. We're right down there. It's called the Kentucky Truck Plant.
Yeah,
I was
yeah. I
pulling
live
that.
in Kentucky. I know you
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had bought a house in Wayne, and I was working out of Wayne, so I pick up the load and I take the parts down there, 18-wheeler, down there, pulling for Ford. I take it down there 6 days a week, 710 miles a day. All right. And this was in 2004, excuse me, that'd be 6 and 7. So he came in at 8. All right. So
Right.
everything crashed. Everything went down up in the Big Three. The Big Three went down. And all the other governors all across the United States were saying in the South, let Michigan fall. Do you guys remember that?
Mm.
Have
Carl, you
Yes,
remember that? I don't.
I remember that, especially Detroit area. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever read his book?
No. The Audacity, the book.
No. What was his first book? I got it, and I stopped reading it. I had stopped reading. I haven't finished reading it. I can't think of the name of his first book. The latest one when he first came out. But you start reading that book, and I had to put it down. It's deep. I'm telling you guys.
I think the first book he actually, I think if I remember correctly, people were saying he acknowledged that he had some gay tendencies or something of it. That's the book you're talking about? The first book.
Yeah, the first book. No. He didn't acknowledge that. But his knowledge is, but he's saying how rough it was for him. He had to fight for every little thing. But it came out to be what you guys saying. It wasn't what I thought he was. Because I was talking trash. I used to go with the guys, and I told the guys, I said, yeah, we're going to have a black president.
Right.
You didn't never have a black president in the United States. So I was working around a lot of guys, and they didn't believe it. So when he did win, they was like, wow. But then they all of a sudden, they told me that when I moved down, I got transferred down to Georgia.
Right.
About 10 years ago, right, from the company I was with. So anyway, I came down here with the good old boys down here. They said they came out and they straight told me the guys up north, they didn't never say what the good old boys say down south. No, they say, they just tell me straight up, no, he's not black, he's biracial. And I say, what? And they used to always tell me,
they were telling you, they were trying to let you know he was not.
Check this out. I'm gonna land with this one. They used to tell me this right here. This is why this is South, good old boy. They say, I'm not racist, but if my kids marry out the race, I'm gonna take them off the I'm taking them off the wheel. I'm taking them off. I'm not leaving them no money. I'm just not gonna deal with them. I say, why is that? Because I just don't want to. I'm not racist. I just don't want no mixed family. So that's the good old boys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, the boys up in the northern, they ain't gonna tell you the truth.
They ain't gonna tell you that. Yeah, they gonna say that.
They ain't gonna tell you.
You can't. You got around those southern good old boys in the South. They gonna tell you how they feel.
Money. Get around the guys get that old money. You see what I'm saying? They say what they want to say.
They gonna say what they want to say because they think they got the authority to say it.
They got the authority to say it. But then once you tighten up on us, I had to tighten up on them.
Had them let them know. Watch your mouth now. Get your mouth get in trouble.
You see what I'm saying? I had to tighten up on them because they used to come up to me. They wanted to start talking to me, and they first thing in the morning, I was always raised. You're supposed to say good morning.
Right.
So I had to get them straight. I say, hey, you ain't talking to me. I said, did I wake up next to you this morning? No. I said, well, before you even talk to me about some work.
You say good morning.
You say good morning. And I had them trained.
Yes.
Good morning, Miles. Good morning, Miles. You see what I'm saying? All the other brothers down here, 50, 60, 40, 30 years old, these brothers from the South.
Yeah.
So let them cuss them out. I laugh. I think he was Richard Pryor. I was laughing in his face in front of all their face. Like, y'all sitting up here letting this man. They say, He used to say, Miles, stop laughing. Stop laughing. What's so funny? I say, you funny. You're funny. You sit there cussing at grown men, treating them like dogs,
Wow.
you know?
Hey,
But
hey,
grown
Miles.
men, military men like yourself,
Yeah.
military man, a man that been in the Marines. He come to me, Miles. Why he talk to me like I'm a little boy? I got kids older. I said, listen,
Because
if
you
you
let
don't
him.
stand, yeah, you don't stand up. You don't stand up. You
So
know, you got no backbone.
got no backbone. Hey, Miles, you got a similar story. Hey, before I forget, make sure you YouTube the movie Nothing But a Man. You know, if you've not seen that movie, Nothing
No, I
But a
ain't seen
Man.
that.
No, YouTube. Okay,
All right.
you're
Thank you,
gonna
brother.
appreciate that movie. But you know, you have a similar story that when I got out of the military and I got out for active duty and I came to the reserve unit of 5010th Hospital. I was an E5 when I got. I had 14 years of active duty, but I could not get promoted on active duty because on active duty in my professional surgical technology, they were called homestead. And people wasn't the upper ranks wasn't leaving, so they can only make a slot when the slot is available. Okay, so if there's no slot, you can't get promoted up. So here I was an E5 with 14 years in the military, and I could not get promoted in my MOS. So the military downsized in 1990. A lot of people don't realize that 1990 military did a downsize. They had too many E5s, people who were in the military. They needed to get them out, and I was one of those people. I took, they gave me $75,000 to get out, and I got out. And with my first wife, we purchased here in Louisville. I mean, in Radcliffe. But what happened is that as I was processing out, the the sergeant that was processing me said, "Hey, Sarge, I'm gonna tell you something." He was an E7 too. He said, "I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm looking at your MOS, man." He said, you can make your E6." I said, "I can make my E6." He said, "Yeah. All you got to do is we're gonna go ahead and assign you in over there, over in this 5010th, and in 3 months, your name gonna come out on the promotion list." And he said, "Go show up over there in 3 months." He said, "They don't drill until you go and show up, and you gonna find your name on the promotion list." So I did. I showed up. Sure enough, my name was on the promotion list. I said, "Get the hell out!" So Miles, you're gonna appreciate this is what happened. So again, I wasn't from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm not from Kentucky. Okay. So when I showed up in 5010th, it was an all white personnel of males. And I walked in there and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" I mean, you knew it was on the weekday too. It wasn't even a weekend drill. I walk in there, I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I say, "Yeah, I'm Sergeant Daniels. I'm new to the unit and everything, and I've been assigned to this unit. But I'm coming here to check and see. I've been assigned here, and it's like been 3 months now. I hear the promotion list is out, and I'm trying to see that I make the list." And so they pulled out the list, and it said, "Yeah, who you, Sergeant? You? Oh, yeah, you are on the list." I said, "Oh, good." And I said, "Can I see it?" I looked at it, and yep, because my points were so high, because on active duty, I mean, I maxed the points on active duty, but I couldn't get promoted. And so I maxed everybody that was on the list in my MOS, and I saw my name is high. Oh my God, I'm gonna make my E6. And this is where it got crazy, Miles. You're gonna trip this up. They gonna say, you don't know how we do things here. You can't come off of active duty and just go straight ahead. See the woman right there? She's been in this unit now for a while. We promote our people from within. We don't promote from what the list says. I'm like, now I'm from active duty. I'm like, what? I said, this is a U.S. Army promotion list here, right? He said, "Yeah, but you in the reserves, and reserve do things differently than active duty." You know what? Hey, Miles, I didn't even argue with him. I said, "Can I get a copy of this list?" I said, "Well, thank you for the information. Can I get a copy of this?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I'll see you at next drill, and we gonna go ahead and get this young lady promoted and everything and that." I said, "Okay." Yeah, I didn't say it. Hey, I left right out there, and sat in my car because it had the headquarters of Nashville on the thing there. They say I'm active duty. I ain't one of these brothers. They can just tell me anything, and I just, oh, okay. Well, what you said? No, I wasn't that type. I didn't look. I said, okay, cool, all right. You all right? You what you said? All right. I sat in the car, called headquarters up in Nashville, and I played ignorant. Maybe what he was saying was correct. So I didn't say, the major picked up. I said, "How you doing, sir?" I said, "I'm sorry, Daniels. I'm new here, and I just got out." I said, "Do you got a promotion list down there?" He said, "Yeah." I said, I'm 91 Delta, 91 Delta 20. Okay. And I'm trying to find out, I'm here down in this 5010th unit and everything. I'm trying to find out, did I make the list?" So he pulled up the list and everything. He says, "What say your name?" I said, "I'm Sorry, Daniels." He says, "Sarge Michon?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, you in the list. Congratulations, Sarge. You making E6." I said, "Really?" I said, "Really?" "Yeah." I said, "Well, somebody need to get on down here in this 5010th unit and tell them what's going on." Let me tell you what happened. Me and another partner showed up. We both came from the same unit. Brother, what you just said. These Negroes here in Louisville, Kentucky, 5010, have been being passed over for promotion for years in this unit. Years. I'm not talking about a couple years, years. Majority of them were E4s and E5, never of the senior ranks. Never of the senior ranks, okay? Years. We caused a congressional investigation.
Gatekeeping.
We tore down the gate, bro. Hey, he said, Carl, Joe, so you can see, I've been stirring up shit since I've been coming to this place. Man.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
I didn't know nothing about Louisville. I didn't know anything. The only thing I knew, I was coming from Radcliffe down to 5010th of Louisville, Kentucky, and this reserve unit gonna deny me making my E6. Man, you made. And then when I made my E6, they pinned on my E6. Of course, the girl didn't get promoted. All right, I pinned on my E6, and I did exactly what that sergeant. He said, as soon as you make your E6, you go ahead and apply for ANOC to make your E7. And I applied for ANOC, went to Biloxi, Mississippi. Wasn't even in the unit long, bro. I just came in there, boom, came. Hey, applied for it with it. Went to Biloxi, went to night school, did that training and everything, graduated from ANOC and everything, and put my package in for E7. It took 4 times for me to get it. By the fourth time, I was E7. And now I'm getting paid as an E7 versus being paid as an E5. Now, what if I would have, like you say, but what if I would have just allowed them to tell how many? Now, you think our story, Miles, is common among our people? Okay, I'm speaking to you, Miles, because you brought that out of me. Do you not think that what you experience and what I experience is probably common among our people, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Especially when you're talking about the pay. I'm
Yeah,
glad you mentioned that. You about to get me going again because that's something I bought down. I was already coming from Michigan. I was already getting paid a certain level.
right.
So when I came down here, these guys was making
Peanuts.
$7, less than me. And I'm looking at them, these guys, I'm telling you, these guys 50, 60, 40, 30. I said, what? And they said, what's gonna make you happy, Miles? So they told me they bought me in. The manager bought me in. I said, I tell you one thing, I need some stability. And I said, that pay ain't hitting on nothing. And he said, what is it gonna take? Like I said, you have to bring it up. He said, okay. He gave me the number. The man took the pay up. I'm telling you, you guys don't believe it or not. You can look up this company. It's a Fortune 500 company. I disrupt their atmosphere. Okay, they took the pay up to almost $30 an hour. You understand what I'm saying? And that's
Wow.
and then we got paid for stops. Then I got them bonuses. You know, they get 2 bonuses
You
per year.
stirred up stuff for everybody
said-
else benefited.
Listen, they used to come to work. They first started when I came in. They was giving out Waffle House breakfast, and I say what? And I went in there one time, right? The second time, third time, no more. I used to tell them. They said, "Why you gonna come in here and eat?" I said, "Let me tell you something. I come here to work. I ain't come here to eat." And I said, "You gonna give me some stuff that gonna have me going to the toilet." I said, "If I want to go out and eat, I'll give me the money. I can take my family out to eat. I ain't want to sit up here and eat with y'all hurting my stomach." I said, "You must be crazy. Give me the money." "Oh, you Miles, all you about is the money." I said, "That's what I come to work for."
Yeah, but
Make
I
money.
didn't come here to socialize.
Yeah.
What the hell
I
you
ain't come here
like?
to be no friends with none of y'all. I come here to make money to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about.
Hey,
In
you
the South, excuse me, I ain't you from
go ahead, go
Miami,
ahead.
right?
No, you
But
speaking
in
the
the
truth, man.
South, you notice a lot of our brothers, they talk this big talk, and I know it's on this app, but in real life, they don't act like they talk. You see, because my brother, I'm gonna give you one example. I'm gonna leave this alone. He's a teacher up in Michigan about 20 years.
Right.
So he came down to my house for my son's wedding a couple years ago. So he came down without his wife. You know how a man act without his wife, right?
Right,
You
you're
get
right.
loose.
Yeah, without his
So
wife, right.
yeah, so he all this cursing. I said, "Bro, let me ask you a question. Do you talk like this in school with your other teachers?" He said, "No." I said, "So why you doing it with me?" I said, "So you live a double life, huh? You talk all this pro-black stuff.
Right.
He teaching in Ann Arbor too. You know, you
Oh, yeah.
talk all this pro stuff, but you see what I'm saying? I'm just gonna give you.
Right.
I'm giving you either people gonna be real or they're gonna be fake. That's all I'm gonna say. Thanks for having me up.
Hey, Miles. So you know what, bro? How old are you, Miles?
I'm 47, sir.
Man, but you young enough to see that there's a lot. So you've been following me for a while, so you recognize there's a lot of fake individuals talking a whole lot of fake, lot of stuff up here, but they ain't living the way they talking on this app. Am I right?
They talking a lot of BS.
Yep. I was raised from the old school, you know. The old school is the best school.
Yeah, that's right.
Alley cats and the old brothers raised me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't never hang around nobody at my own age. I always hang around older. I'm gonna ask you something. Do you know a soldier named Daryl Grice? You sound like he was in the military with my uncle, Daryl Grice.
Nah, unless he was a cook or surgical technology, we probably didn't. We
No,
didn't.
he was a driver.
No, we probably didn't cross paths because I was a cook initially, and then I changed my MOS and became a surgical technologist and ran operating rooms and everything. But me too, I was mentored by older men. I was not mentored. I didn't hang. Once I did come in the military, it was something about older. I was always older guys used to take me under their wing. Even I mean I don't I say it now. Even when I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I was still I was learning how to be black. In my book, I talk about my first 3-4 years. I went to get my black card, okay, because my mother kept me separated from what we call blackness. I didn't even go to black churches, never hung out with her family and everything for whatever reason. It was actually a good thing. I'm thankful for that. She sheltered me from all that. So when I got in the military, I had to go get my black. And I tell people that I went down some dark avenues. Getting your black, is different than being indoctrinated black. I mean, uh, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Being indoctrinated black from birth into an adult, especially men, it's an indoctrination. There's a domestication. It's in a brainwashing. Okay, so you buy into a lot of different things, and if you don't have no father that them broke away from that, if you have no men around you that broke away from that, you can find yourself behaving and acting in manners that you don't even realize that you carried on until you get around people who expose that to you. And so what happened, I had to learn how to be black. But there's a difference learning how to be black and learning how to be accepted black. And I hope y'all receive this, okay? I learned how to be accepted as black, but I wasn't indoctrinated black. So I got to see how we operate. I got to see things and recognize things. So there's a lot of things I did not buy into. So when I changed my MOS and turned and went to the medical field where I was among all the white people, I'm gonna speak this way, white people, I didn't have the inferiority of them. Does that make sense? I didn't care. I came there because I was good. I mean the military had taught me to be good. I was good at I just came there, I passed the test to be able to be a surgical tech. So I'm not coming to be a marginal surgical tech. I'm coming to be the best surgical tech in this operating room. I'm coming here to compete. Okay. I don't care who it is. And so I came in to compete with all of them. Okay. And so I became good. And so when you became good, and they started paying me because I was good. And so the first time I heard I wasn't black was in basically while I was in the military being a cook around my own people. Brother, you ain't black. So I had to go get my black. So when the second time I heard I wasn't black, it's around white people, and they got drunk and full and everything, they said, me, Sean, you're not black. They didn't know I had heard this before, but it's different then. Why you say I'm not black? Well, me, Sean, don't you see you the only one here, and all you do is hang out with us, and you say you don't know how to. You just that is where it comes. You don't know how to stay in your place. You hanging out with us. You the only one here. I'm like, well, I'm the only one here because I'm a surgical technologist, and y'all invited me to the damn party. I'm here because damn it, I deserve to be here. What the hell? The color of my skin have anything to do? Oh, so what I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be inferior, and I'm supposed to not even come because it's so many y'all white people here, and I'm supposed to be inferior because y'all here. Oh, there you go. They knew I had a mouth on me. Oh, there you okay, me short? No, what you trying to tell me? Y'all want me to be scared of y'all or something? What the hell are you talking about? Okay, and that's what I started realizing that when you indoctrinated black, domesticated black, and you have been inbred and you go to these liberal schools and everything, unknowingly to yourself, you being indoctrinated inferiority. Carl, you want to speak to that? You know what I'm talking about, Carl. Am I speaking some truth there, Carl? Carl, you there? Uh-oh. Carl must have stepped away. Anybody else want? Am I speaking anybody know what I'm talking about? If you've been raised, well, let me use it in another way. If you have parents that have told you the white man is your problem, if you have grandparents who have told you the white people is your problem, if you go to a black church and you being preached that white people is your problem, if you go to the barbecue and you hang out with all of your folks and everywhere you go, white people is your problem. White people this, white people that, whoop, wop, wop, everywhere you go, white people that did it. And then when you start hanging around white people, do you not already build up a certain amount of what? Come on now.
Resentment, hate.
Am I right?
Inferiority. Yeah, there's been a culture shift of that type of ideology. Uh, Again, it depends on the black people that have that type of ideology.
Right.
Uh, my parents did not have that type of ideology. They had the ideology that we are just as equal
Right.
that they are. Therefore, all we wanted was just an opportunity. All
Right.
we wanted was opportunity to show our excellence, to
Right.
show how good we are. It wasn't about inferiority. So it depends on the black that you
Right.
are engaged with. And the problem is, it's becoming more and more pervasive as the years go by with that particular ideology.
Absolutely. And what was different for me, I was raised in an environment where my mother hated white people, and that's probably was good because she hated white people to the extent that she didn't even want. She considered black churches to be in white churches to be the white man system. So she wanted to separate me from black churches and white churches. And she was also rebelling against her mother, who was a maid that worked for the Nelsons. And all her siblings used to. My mother was a rebellious one. It was the only was the she was the youngest of the girls, okay, and she was one of the young, but she was the most rebellious. When her mother and father used to make all they had 10 kids, yeah, they had 10 kids. And she was she was the youngest girl. And all of them worked for the Nelsons. I mean, maids, housekeeping, lawn work. They all, my grandma worked as a maid until the day she lived, until the day she died. My mother resented that. My mother used to get spanking. Her mother used to wanted her to go clean bathrooms or wash dishes, and my mother wouldn't do it. I ain't doing it for these white people. That's what my mother was a rebellious spirit. she, she, so they used to just say, "Girl, you just crazy. Girl, you just crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get out here. Go out there and play." She would rather play. She didn't do it all the way. And then when she got in teens and everything, her mother tried it. My mother used to tell her, "I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't working with these white people. I ain't gonna be you." And even though my mother's name is Hattie, named right after her grandma, she hated her name. So she used to call herself Laura, which is her middle name. So she rebelled. So imagine me being a son, being her first child, okay, with that rebellious spirit, and then she does what you. So you see where. So now you get. I don't think you ever heard that before, Joe. Right? You didn't. You see where I get that from? You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You are. You sometimes you in your mother's womb. Yeah, and sometimes the way that you raise, I got that naturally not to be inferior to white people because my mother wasn't. She didn't like them at all. So but I will admit, not going to black churches and not hanging out with my whole and so my mother got a man to gave her the lifestyle that she wanted. So I grew up a little bougie, but even bougie, grew up odd and weird and experienced some things I know I shouldn't experience and everything. But I'm thankful for not being domesticated, indoctrinated, and brainwashed as black. Anybody want to talk to that? That's why I ain't your black. That's what this whole be careful in being happy just to be black. Be careful. Just want to be. I just want to be viewed. Be careful in walking in places, and you have to go out of your way to show how black you are. How many of y'all know people that be there? I see that all the time.
Yeah, it's just like you hear a lot of people saying, like, I get a lot of pushback from this too. If you don't live in the hood, you're not black. I
Right.
hate that. I hate
Yeah.
that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I done lived in the hood, right?
When
And I
black
thought,
people wake
oh
up
man, this is an easy
and
good way to get
become
rich, right? I was
intellectually
just thinking when I
independent
first started my
enough,
career, I said, wow, if I stay like this, I'm gonna get rich real fast. So, you know what was going on though in that neighborhood? Nothing but shooting, drugs. When I used to take the groceries out the car, the brothers used to be so tough they could come outside, sit on the front porch, and stare at me taking my groceries out the
Right.
car. You know what I'm saying? That's disrespectful. Come on now. If you're gonna stand, at least look at me from the window. I don't
Right.
mind it, but you come on the porch, it's like, what do you got? When he ain't at home, we gonna go there and get what you got. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Come on now.
Even when I
That's not
lived
okay.
when I lived in the West End, I didn't tell this is the difference in being a man and masculine. There were things that were going on around my home, living on 40th Street, that I didn't even let my wife know, because if I had let my wife know how dangerous it was, it would have bothered her. You know what I'm saying? I knew her. I knew her. It was my wife had flowers in the garden outside and everything. And my wife kept a nice, she liked pretty things and everything. And there were some dope dealers that was having a party and everything. And they had their children run all over. I mean, they just was rolling all over our yard and everything, messing up and tore up. And I came outside and I said, I asked, hey, you little kid, get out of my yard, get out of my yard, get out of that darn plant. And one of the guys was the parents of the kid. Going to say, hey man, who you talking to my kids like that? Man, they're my kids. I say, your kids is all in my darn yard, and they're, man, I don't give. Hey, so I looked over at his name is Dominique. I looked over to Dominique. I say, Dominique, hey Dominique. I just said it. Hey Dominique, hey, get your guests, man. And he knew me. You know that. Hey, listen up, man. That's Mr. Michon, man. Get your kids. Get your kids, bro. get your kids, okay? Man, and Dominique said, looking up, man. Get your kids. Get a cut in. Don't let them go all in his yard. That's his yard, and he's right. That's his yard, okay? And we ought to. I know his wife and everything. They don't do that. Did I go in and tell my wife that? What do you think I would have been told my wife? All that, right? I didn't go tell her that. I didn't tell her that story until it was another story I didn't tell her. It was one time I went to the store. Went to the store and I saw some young men. And I just felt like going over talking to them. And I was talking to them and everything. And while I was talking to them, Darren, 3, 4, 5 police cops pulled up and everything and surrounded us. I'm like, whoa! And the police came up. Sir, we're not worried about you. We've been surveilling this person right here. They pulled off guns and everything like that. And you didn't know who they were and everything. Hey, I like, oh man, I was just, I just was trying to talk to the fellas and see how they were doing and everything. Did I go home and tell my wife that? Didn't tell my wife that either. Why do you? But just out of curiosity, anybody who's married and understand, why didn't I go and tell my wife that? Anybody know? Anybody? Anyone who hasn't spoken yet? Did anybody want to tell
Protection.
me? Huh?
A certain level of covering, protection.
Yeah.
She don't need to, it's interesting. John Yacht told a story one time on our Tipping Point show. It's very similar about how there was a robbery or burglary in the home. Dad took care of it in the midst of it happening. And mom never knew anything about it until sometime later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the very same reasons.
For the very same reason. When I told my wife about a few times and a couple of things that had happened and everything, she said, I never knew all that. Oh, and she was like, you didn't tell me. I said, no. I said, if I would have told you, you would not have moved. But you would have, guess what? If I would have told my wife, would she started moving differently? Right? She would have not felt comfortable. Okay.
Safe, absolutely.
Yeah, am I right? Yeah, and she would not move the same way if I had told her the dangers that was all around us. You all follow me? It was my responsibility to keep her safe, okay? And keeping her safe is sometimes, that's why I tell guys, you run your damn mouth too much to your woman, okay? You're telling your woman everything, are you protecting her? Or are you hindering her by you? They said, are you going to be her protector? You're supposed to protect her. She needs to look to you, okay, as son. Certain things you need to handle yourself, okay, and make her feel comfortable and everything. And a lot of guys, that's what we were talking about earlier. Being, my wife has a feminine authority, and I let her walk in her feminine authority. But there is a masculine authority that we supposed to walk in. And that means making your queen feel comfortable. I would have disrupted her ability to navigate the way that she wanted to navigate if I would have shared all the dangers that was going. Now, I do recall when she was telling me, she said, I don't feel, because she used to walk from 40th Street. She said, I just want to walk and go to the young lady who used to do her hair. And she came back to me and was saying it was after 10 years. She said, "I don't feel any more comfortable walking to Kim's house. Can you take me?" Yeah, babe. I take I take you. And I started taking her. Okay. She told me she no longer felt comfortable. But did I put on her all the dangers? She told me that she felt uncomfortable. I handled it and I started taking her, okay, to her hair appointments and everything. Again, never told her about, yeah, I know, you're getting crazy, right? And I will say, this is where we really understood it got hurt. 10 years. Now we bought our home for 45,000, 45, 45,009. We living in the hood. Okay. So, I'm just going to say this. We had a 1,700 square feet big home in the West End, black community and everything. And this home went for 45,900. We got it appraised for 90,000. Anywhere else, this house would have sold for $200,000 to $350,000. But in the hood, where we were living, this home sold for 45,900. Okay, so got it appraised, $90,000 equity in the home. So we took the $50,000 and we put we fixed the home up. 10 years later, after 10 years later living there, we got reassessment. Now we already got to reassess to get the equity for 90. So we had the 50,000. So, and it took that out as a loan. Okay. So we were paying on over a $90,000 mortgage now for this home. But 10 plus years later, the home got reassessed. The property value got reassessed. And that same home that we got appraised at 90,000 dropped to 39,900. Wow. 39,900. Okay. Now, when I had a conversation with mine now, because first of all, I didn't buy no house to be in a hole. I bought a house to make money. Am I right, Carl? Anybody a homeowner? Who buys a home to be in a hole? I mean, that home, I bought this home to make money on. I mean, if you understand what ownership is, I didn't buy that home.
Equity.
Yeah, right. I'm not at home to have. Now I'm upside down in equity in this damn home. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn. Hey, so that's the first time that I remember I got to talk to my wife. I said, look at here. We got to be looking at trying to get out of here. I said, look at here. So we stayed there another 15 years. So we stayed there a total of 25 years. And anybody want to ask me what did I finally sell that house for to get out of there? Anybody want to know?
How much was it?
We got out of that house for 40,900.
Oh my God.
Now remember, I've been staying there. We had the remaining mortgage at our home. We had been paying on it because now I want you to understand we was paying double on the mortgage because listen, we bought the home for 45,500. Okay, initially, that was like 30-year mortgage. That was like a car payment for that home, like $307 a month for that. Even when it went up to 90,000 and everything, it was still like a car payment, right? So we was my wife and I was already making a 6-figure income, so we was living way under our means anyway. So we were doubling, making extra payments and everything. So we only owed after 25 years, we only owed 19,900 on the home. So even though now you knew I wanted now, Carl, you do know I wanted to make way more than what I wanted, right? But I had to cut my losses, brother. You understand? I took that 49, took that 49 and got the hell out of there.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, I had to keep moving, brother, right? Yeah, my wife and I, we went and bought, where we at right now. Our current home is over $207,000 and we got equity in it already. Okay, we bought it under value anyway. We got equity, but guess what? I ain't losing its value. We already know people trying to go. They trying to sell out. They trying to tell us that we can sell our home for 350,000 and everything. But we ain't trying to go nowhere right now. Baby, good. But my whole point is that if you're not being the king in your home, and you're not allowing your woman to stay the queen in the home, what's the possibility you're going to be able to live the type of life that you need to live if you live in, crazy? Isn't that what's going? Miles, you've been on these apps, and Carl, you've been on these apps, and Joe, you just started. Maybe a couple of, Watch been on these apps. Do you think majority of people who be? So I'm only talking about the men. I ain't want to talk to. I always say this. I'm never talking to females. I'm always trying to talk to guys and trying to get, because I always believe that when men move properly, women will follow. Who believe that? When men are operating in their natural order, women would do what? Follow. I mean, it is just a natural thing. Okay, when a man is handling his shit, right, a woman will recognize and do what? Follow it. So if you all been listening like I've been listening, you think many of these guys who running their mouths and saying all this stuff and all that emotional stuff you be hearing that, how many of them you think are actually handling their business? Come on, if I won't. Yeah, see.
Very few.
Right?
And that's where a lot of the complaining comes from, because they busy pointing the finger in the wrong place, because they don't know no better, because they've been raised wrong. Typically, a lot of them have grown up raised by women, didn't have a man to follow, role model, anything like that, and I mean, some people would argue that, a woman's responsibility as a single mother is to find a male role model, be it in the church or from work or somewhere, if you got a son, especially to for the son to follow. But I mean, if we own up to it, then we own up to it. And even when the government stepped in, a lot of the men by choice stepped out.
Right. So what I try to explain to young women who found themselves unmarried with child is that you have to position yourself to be picked by a man. Boy, they don't like that, bro. It's some of them don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. You have to put yourself in the position, okay, that a man will find you someone valuable, because, and and people think I'm trying to be mean about this. Really, not too many men who's financially educated, financially doing well and everything, want a ready-made family. Okay, I'm just, he usually wants to have. Isn't that what Kevin, with the guy who died? Isn't that what
Kevin Samuel.
wasn't that what he was trying to let these women know? I mean, let them women know, you want this man to have all this going, but you got 3-4 kids, okay? You want a man to have a 6-figure income. Okay.
You want a man that has everything that you and you don't have the value. And some people would say you shouldn't be asking for more than what even you have.
What he was trying to do was help women to have a better assessment of themselves.
Exactly. Absolutely. You hit it right on the nose. That's all
as opposed to today's day and age, delusional. It's an absolute delusional assessment, and it's because a lot of women are too busy, instead of being truthful with each other, they're too busy saying, yeah, go on, girl, instead of telling her, no, from behind you got all this stuff hanging on, and you probably should clean that up.
You need to clean that up.
It don't really look that appealing. Instead, they just say, oh yeah, nah, you look good, girl.
Yeah.
Stop. Be truthful.
Yeah, be truthful. Speak. I think if I can speak truth, I think the brothers are more truthful to the brothers than the women are truthful to the women. Am I right or wrong? I think
Man,
we're
we'll say, we'll say, bro, you ugly in a heartbeat.
Brother, you need to level up. You need to get
Exactly. Yeah, guys say that all the time. Hey, you need to tighten up, bro. You
Hey,
need to
bro.
tighten up. You ain't got your shit together.
You, oh, bro, who you trying to go after, bro? Well, slick. What you
But-
say? What you trying to do? Well, who you trying to go after?
But
Brother,
women will lie to each other all the time. I'm a boss. Oh yeah, girl, you a boss. Look, me and my partner were talking about that earlier today. He is letting his ex-wife use one of his cars.
Yo, smack.
One of his cars. Which, I mean, dude, he's just a very nice dude. But he got 3 cars, and he's letting his ex-wife use one of his cars, and she's steadily on social media talking about how much of a boss she is. And we were just sitting there joking about it today. He's like, man, how she a boss? She ain't even got her own car. She using mine.
she's running things, man. She's running things. She's running your friend. She's running your friend.
That's what I told him. I said, bro. He said, don't worry. She done had it for a month, and I'm about to go repo it here in a second. But I said, bro,
it asks the
too
question,
nice,
why
dude.
she's
Why
X?
do you do that?
No, Joe. So the question is, why is she X? Can we answer that?
Exactly. Exactly. She's X for all the reasons, all the same reasons.
Oh, excuse me for laughing, but
All the same reasons she's X.
but she rolling. She thinks she got it going.
She thinks she got it made. She on social media. I'm bothered. I'm a boss. This, that, and the other. Bro, you about to be walking in a minute.
Oh my God.
But
I truly believe that the men are more honest to little shorties and to fellas and everything. I mean, we sometimes, these mothers to their daughters, give sins about them. Because the mother, listen, if you are unwed, and see, they don't like when I say this. See, I don't say single with children. I see, no. The word single mean exactly when I was single, brother, without no children or that, I was living the single life. No children. Don't have no children nowhere. Okay. Single. No responsibility nowhere. I was on a talk show and I was saying, y'all need to reposition yourself when y'all go out there dating. You need to say, if you're a guy don't have no children, you say, I'm a single man. Okay. Are you a single one? She says, yeah, I'm single. No. I know. You need to ask these words. Are you unwed with children or are you single like me? I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no kids nowhere. Okay. See, do you know the women
are
do not want
absolutely-
the women do not want you to use unwed with children. They want to use single.
I mean, and it goes for the men too.
Yeah,
Goes for
men
the men
too. I gotta go men too.
But you're absolutely right about that. That's I never even thought about that, but you are absolutely right.
Yeah, y'all should be saying even if you ain't married and you got kids out there, you are unwed with children, slick. You ain't single because if someone hook up with you, fellas, I tell guys, if somebody hook up with you, they got to deal with your children from your previous relationships. Okay, whoever you hook up with, right? Like my wife. My wife has no children from no previous relationship. When she married me, though, she had to deal with what? My previous relationship with my children. Okay, you know what makes sense? So when I married her, which I made sure I didn't want no one with no children. I'm like, no, I already had married my first wife with children. I was like, look at here. Lord, please provide me with a woman with no children. Please, I want to have no children. So I looked up. Jackie got no children, and she didn't even want to have any children. That was another thing I requested. Lord, please. And then I have to admit, I feel like I was being selfish. If she wanted to have kids, okay. But then I had to explain to her I'm sterile. So, you ain't ever gonna have no children with me. Okay. I can't even have children. But she didn't even want to adopt. So that was cool. I was cool, good, yes, woo. I'm cloudy, but I'm serious here, right? I was glad.
It's called preference.
Yes. Right. I had a preference, my wife, she did, but and I wanted to make sure I wasn't preventing her from, if she wanted to adopt, I probably would have adopted if she wanted a child. But shoot, Jackie, when she says she don't like children, oh, Jackie don't like children at all. None of her nieces and nephews come over and spend night or come over. Jackie, take your kids with you. I don't want them here. No, we don't. He said we don't babysit at our house. Y'all got all her brothers and sisters, their cousins. They got children. And say, oh, y'all got that big house, and they come out. No, that's not for them to come over and spend no time with us. You made that stuff up. Nobody coming over to our house. No. Talking about spending the night with us. Nah, we ain't having none of that. But anyway, I am really enjoying this conversation and everything. I want to see if anybody else want to throw anybody else. Okay, listen, it's just reset the room. Okay, this is I Ain't Joe Black show. Was Obama black? Was Obama the black you thought he was? So I never saw him black. I never voted for him in the first place. I didn't vote neither time. And I was already a registered Republican when he came up. I did try to go and investigate when I found out the way, and I like, oh, this dude ain't black. I mean, this guy ain't right. But I felt very bad. I will admit, when Obama, because I was working a night shift, when Obama, I had to go to work when the election was going down. When Obama became president, I have to admit, I wept a little. You know why I wept? I wept because I saw so many of us so happy for this black president, and I was on the opposite side of that, and I felt a certain kind of way. Carl, did you feel that? No, you didn't vote for him either. Okay. But I have to admit, I felt a certain kind of way because I saw so many of us so happy. Carl, did you feel any kind of way about that?
No.
You didn't? I did. My wife was mad at me. Her family was mad at me. So I mean, I'm living in the Democratic. I'm living in the den of the Democratic Party in the West End. Everybody was fireworks and everything going, and I didn't vote for the dude. I didn't vote for him at all.
But I'm curious though. For those that did vote, I mean, is there anyone who had any real political expectation from him? Because I'm gonna be honest. I voted for him the first time. Second time I did not. But I just voted for him because he was black and he seemed cool. I'm gonna be honest. That was me. He seemed cool, and he sounded eloquent and intelligent, and I said, "Wow, first black president." And I'm sitting here and I can remember, being in a space when he's sworn in and all of that, and it's white people and black people around.
You know why older white people voted for him, don't you?
White guilt.
Carl, what do you say? Why did white people vote for him? Especially older white people. Why do you think older white people vote for him? Carl?
I would think they swayed their guilt.
They knew they had one foot in the grave. They wanted to say
They figured they might as well do something. They might as well do one good deed before they leave.
they didn't want it to be on their conscience that they did not vote for right, because I mean I can laugh about it because I actually talked to some because they didn't vote
And I
for him
think
the
that
second
still
time.
ties into white guilt.
Yeah, it does. It ties into white guilt. But I actually talked to some white people, older white, and he said, "Well, well, he was the first black president, and I know my family had done some things, and I just wanted to make sure that I voted for someone black. I just wanted, but what do you think about him? I mean, you do know he didn't get vetted like any other. If he would have got vetted like any other president prior to him, he would not have gotten in. Okay, if they would have just stood, Carl, would you agree with that? If he would have been vetted, if they would have just went straight up and down and vetted him, and all the signs that were showing that, yo, dude, you kind of Marxist. You hold up here, dude. You gotta far out there and everything. If they would have vetted him like anybody else, would he have gotten in, Carl?
No, I don't think so. You have to have Mark Carter to talk about Obama from Chicago.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, I heard.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, I caught a little bit of that. Ooh,
Yeah, but
Carl.
I thought Alan Keyes was going to win out of Chicago, but I didn't realize how the Democrat control had so much control over Chicago.
Yeah. And I'd love to hear a little bit. I caught a little bit of Mark Carter talking about it, but Joe, you haven't been in a space with Mark Carter. You need to be in a space with Mark Carter. I'm gonna tell you, bro. You either love him or you hate him, brother. I mean, but he gonna give it to you raw.
Hey, fathers, did you know where he first? Excuse me. Did you know where Obama first started campaigning at? Where he first got his juice from? The book will
No.
tell you. It was Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay.
Get that book, and it's gonna tell you, how he started. Because his old lady didn't even want him to run because she was like, because at that time, all Obama, you just got a good paycheck now being a senator, a steady paycheck. Because she was
Oh,
working.
Michelle didn't want him to run.
No, she didn't want him to run. She was like, oh no, because he just had got a steady paycheck.
He just got started getting a senator's paycheck, right?
Yeah, something steady. You see what I'm
Steady.
saying?
Yeah, steady.
So
Yeah.
he came in and he told her that, and she was like, no, but she ended up going with it. And the book will tell you, he sat down with a bottle of liquor. I forgot what bottle of liquor that he drunk that night at his house up in Chicago, and he went through it. But that's I can understand what Mark Carter's saying now when I read the book. You see how Mark Carter said that Obama wasn't in Chicago. He wasn't. You read the book, he was in South Carolina. You get it? You get down there to the
Oh.
South, that's how he got all Georgia, North Carolina, all them coming together because he get with the church. You see what I'm saying? That's
Ah.
what. Do you guys remember? Obama was the first president ever to confess his faith to Christ. Did you guys remember that? Because what they did was everybody kept on thinking he was a Muslim. Remember? He had to confess. I think you guys must be sleeping. He had to confess his faith to Christ on national TV. They did a. Did y'all remember that? Just Google it. Google it.
Hey,
I remember that they were calling him Muslim. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I
and
remember him. They
he
calling
did
him
a
Muslim. Me
he
too.
did
Yeah.
a press conference and he had confessed his faith to Christ. He said, "Yes, I believe in Jesus Christ, and He died on the cross
And
and He
I think
rose."
I do
Yeah,
remember
let me
that.
tell
Yeah.
you. I said when that happened,
He was good.
huh?
He was it. It was black
You,
people was down.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But listen. Why do you have to do that? Why did he have to do that?
For
If he
black people.
tells, not just for the blacks, but for the whites, because when he first got in there on inauguration day, it was he. Remember he was left-handed, right?
Right. He's left-handed.
It was a little white lady. That's the lady that must take care of the house, right? And she told him, you guys go back to that. When he first got to the White House and everybody walking around, he won. He was there. She told him, she said, "Oh, you left-handed. Oh, we're gonna break you." That's what she told him. And I said, and I heard that, and I said, "Wow, look what kind of world we in." You gotta remember how long ago that was now. That was back in 2008. Look
Ooh,
where we at now.
ooh. As I say, it was being wheezed way back there. Like I said earlier, if he would have been vetted like any other president prior to him, he would have never got in. But they did some song and dance to get him in. I mean, they did some shenanigans because to keep it 100, everybody was gonna vote for Hillary, right? I mean, Hillary was supposed to be. Hillary was like he came in. He was a spoiler. I do remember that he was a spoiler for Hillary. I mean, because they were like, man, shoot, first woman. Oh man,
Harry, excuse me, one more thing. Harry Reid and them would push them up. Harry Reid, remember
Harry
Senator
Reid,
Harry?
yeah, Harry
Yeah,
Reid.
they the ones pushed them up the run. They the ones.
Yeah, yeah. But but he was never. He was. I mean, it's quite evident, after you started being around and listening to him, that he
When black
wasn't.
people
He
wake up
had no
and
lineage
become intellectually
with us.
independent enough.
It was quite. I mean, when it all came out, his mother being white, his father being African, and growing up in Kansas, that was enough right there, right? He never grew up. He never grew up in the South. The closest thing to South he had was what? Was Michelle.
That's why they sent him down south so he could learn the culture, learn our culture.
That was the reason. Yeah, I could see that. You know what? But that's interesting. Wow, you are so spot on, man. He had to confess his allegiance to Christianity on TV. Mm. Oh, he was not gonna get in, was he? He wasn't
He
gonna
was
get
in,
it.
he was in already. They was trying to take it away from him.
They were trying to take it away from him.
That's what he had to do to stay.
That's what he had to do to stay. Wow. Wow. Boy, I tell you. So it's a learning lesson from that. And then they come on now. Let's go get it. Then they try to act like they're gonna do what? They're gonna repeat that thing with Harris. Then did you vote for Harris?
No, I did not.
I'm just testing you, Miles, to make sure. See, did you
My
did you
grandma, 92 years old. She even vote for Harris,
she didn't even vote for Harris.
and
She
she been in the church, been a believer. Now I asked about 70 years of her life. Come on now.
so even your grandma peeped her and said, "Oh hell no."
She actually wrote a book to all her grandkids. My grandma.
Is that
And
right?
yeah, and said she had a dream about this, and said that we ain't had no other choice but to go with Trump on this one right here. I'm telling you.
Wow. Ain't that deep? But what did she think about Trump? Excuse me. What did she think about Obama? Once what was her take on what was your grandma take on Obama once
Well,
she
at that time, my granddad was living, so at that time, my grandma didn't talk about politics with me. I talked with my granddad,
right,
and my granddad really wasn't going for him. See, my granddad didn't like Kwame Kilpatrick, and my dad didn't like Kwame Kilpatrick. I didn't have nothing wrong with Kwame Kilpatrick. I had a
right,
problem with how he handled his business, personal business mess.
right,
But he
right, right.
actually, at that time, I was living up there, and crime was going down. So I say, Pops, what you got a problem with him about? Oh, I just don't like him. How you do things, the young jitterbug. Let me say.
That's your father. That's your father.
Yeah, but you see, they ran down on him, and we don't talk about that. We
Yeah,
don't talk about that. When you listen to these spaces and you listen to these guys, we talking. They don't even know
yeah.
what they really talking about, because they talking about stuff that they read or somebody done told them. They don't have no. One thing you just said, the big word, exposure. They've never been
Exposure,
exposed. Yep,
exposure.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that
That's big. That's big. They don't understand that. They don't
that
understand it.
that is a
Hey,
major problem.
you could talk real good as you want to talk. I learned
But
that, and I'm still learning more. But that don't mean nothing when it come down to doing the work. Okay.
but you can talk and expose yourself that you have nothing in there because you lack the exposure. You know, I've actually met people who was academically superior in their academia uh, credentials, but when you sit down with them and have a conversation with them, they lack any amount of real life exposure. Now they could be smarter than a damn, be smart as hell, okay, but they lack exposure, life living, common sense exposure, and everything. And then they're the easiest to be puppets or being, someone they can easily be they can easily be led by other people and everything. So that's why, I'm very careful when you have men and everything that don't know how to navigate themselves, and they allow themselves to be manipulated. You got to be careful about these guys and everything. Like when I showed up in these spaces and everything, I had my own agenda. I had my own way of thinking. I didn't care what anybody thought. It was rough, but I didn't allow people to run me away. Okay. I stayed in there now. I hung in there. I went through what I went through. And now I believe that I'm getting respect that I believe because people recognize that I didn't, no one punked me. Okay. You might not like who I was. You might not liked how I operated, but I am my own man, and that's why my wife married me. She married because I am my own man, and I navigate the way that I think that I need to navigate. So when I think about this title of this show, and I say, was Obama black? You thought he was. I believe I never voted for him. I never fell for the color construct that we allow people. He tried to play on us. The same thing that they tried to do with Harris. To try to roll that same play that they did with Obama. And I felt bad for the people who voted for Obama. But your grandma. Would you say your grandma? You said your grandma said that we had to go. She had a dream that we had to vote it for Trump versus for Harris. Is this what you said your grandma said?
Yes, because she was talking about the wars.
Right.
Other countries wouldn't
Right. Your
respect.
grandma was very wise.
Yeah,
There's
they
no
wouldn't.
way that no Harris was going to be able to be Harris. And can you see Harris and Tim? Come on, man. Come on. All right. I ain't even going to entertain that with no conversation. Okay. There's no way. I mean, I don't care how much you might hate about Trump. I rather have had Trump in office handling the business than to even think of the idea of some darn. And then when women, so you just don't want to have a black. No, I'm cool. I've been around black women who leaders and everything. She just wasn't it. Okay, she just wasn't it. Okay. So don't put that nonsense on me that I hated black women. I wouldn't vote for. No, that's not crazy. That's crazy as hell. I got a mother who's a strong woman and everything, and I got grandma, Lily Bell, strong women. Okay, I know I can recognize a woman who's strong and wholly on, and intelligent and can articulate and not talking in word salads. Come on, man. The hell, bro? I mean, ain't no way in hell you gonna tell me. And then like Obama gonna say they black. What I'm talking about? Who you gonna allow someone to play us that they're black and they don't even have no culture or identity? You can identify if someone is us by where they're culturally come from. Okay, where they culturally come from, not the color of their skin, but where they come from. Hey, Carl, am I right? Joe, am I right? I mean, it's not just the color of their skin that makes them black.
You're absolutely correct. It's the culture. And again, they need to do a better job on investigating to find out if her parents was here legally when she was born here. I think she's an anchor baby.
you Oh boy, wouldn't that be funny? Hey, what you say, Joe? I see you do that 100. Yeah, yeah. Hey. I mean, we just gonna give people a pass just because of the color of their skin, and that makes them an automatic in. I mean, what?
That's really indicative of a lot of us in this day and age, and a lot of our ignorance in politics.
Right.
I mean, we have not. I mean, I would say that within the past 20 years that we've tried to move forward with learning some things in politics. But I mean, in the past 10 years, people just starting to realize, you know what? It ain't just federal I need to worry about. I need to worry about local elections too.
Right.
We just have not. I mean, because all we did was what our mom and daddies told us
Exactly.
to vote Democrat,
Yeah.
and it's only here recently that a lot more of us are starting to say, oh, I need to actually learn and know some things about these candidates and know some things about politics more than just sitting there and just voting blindly.
Like sheep. Like sheep.
You know,
You just allow someone to just tell you anything, you roll with it, but you can't even articulate why you did what you did. And that's another problem that I have with people. Just because you loud and you use profanity and you quick to call somebody names and everything, but if you can't intelligently hold a conversation and articulate what you're saying, you better off just being quiet. Am I right, Carl? I mean, just be quiet. I mean, being loud, okay, and using profanity and calling people's names and everything because you don't have a intellectual articulation to articulate or express yourself. It is best you just be quiet. I mean, don't even say anything, dude. I mean, because you open up your mouth and you just totally expose, who you are.
I'm of the opinion that some of these spaces are just for entertainment purposes.
Oh, I'm there, bro. I am absolutely there. They tell me, Re-Up be telling me I come there be too woke. Be showing why you always trying to I say, brother, because if I'm gonna spend my time, I'm gonna go there. So TS, you know who TS is, right? You know the transvestite, right? You know what I'm talking about, right, Carl?
the transformer.
Yeah, transformer, yes. So the TS it's going to say because I gave money to Re-Up and a couple of people because they were showing some things that I was appreciate. So TS going to say, followers, I'm getting ready to go out and I got to go ahead and get me something to eat. Will you send me $40 and everything, my cash app and everything? Now you in the car, you laughing, you know how that went, right? I said, hey Joe, she did, hey, he, or whatever, didn't know me
She.
quite. She, okay, didn't quite know me very well. And then I said, obviously, TS, you ain't been paying attention about how I spend my money. I said, when I spend my money, I spend my money based on whether or not it pertains to something that's valuable and of my interest. Okay. Of my of my of my of my interest. Okay. Uh Me sending you $40 for you to go eat. And we don't even have to talk because I try to be respectful, Carl. I mean, as long as you're respectful, even though I may not agree with your behavior and what you're doing, I'm gonna give you your respect, okay? So, the followers, why you disrespect? I say, well, first of all, you're very disrespectful. I say, because you're very disrespectful, and say, I give you the same energy in your disrespectful way. I say, but when you're respectful, I can give you your respect. I say, if you want to be called, but then one time, hey, I'm gonna talk about it. Hey, Joe, you need to hear this, bro. So one time, TS was coming at me, Carl, coming at. So this is what I did. I said, TS, ho. Which way are you coming at me? Are you coming at me as a female? Are you coming at me as a man? Well, I said, no, I need you to answer this question. I need, I I need to know which way you coming at me. I said, are you coming at me as a female or are you coming at me as a man? Okay. And Tia, well, I'm known by all country or some crazy crap she said there. Like, and say, I'm a female and all the guys. I said, so you coming at me as a female. I said, so since you coming to me as a female, then you need to take a back seat and listen to what I have to say because any woman knows that when they're in the presence of a masculine man, now Joe knows me, all right. See, when I get on my road, I say, look, any woman knows when they're in the presence of a masculine man. I changed my voice. Carl, have you been around when I changed my voice? Any woman knows when they come in the presence of a masculine African man, and that man is speaking with any amount of intelligence and intellectual. The woman can't help, a natural woman can't help but get moist between the legs. It's just a natural thing that would occur. Okay. I say so. I'm just going to say, if you coming at me like a female, you better watch yourself, Slick. I say, because if you continue, and I said this, I said, if you continue listening to me, you might get I don't know where you're going to get moist at, but you might get a little moist and everything if you're trying to come at me. And then I'm going to have to break your little feelings and everything because I don't roll that way. Okay. And I had people, oh, Lord, they were clowning. They were laughing. I had them laughing. I say, so if you're coming as a female, I just want you to understand you need to watch yourself because it's an old funkadelic song. Okay, I'm from old school. When you get in the head, the ass will follow. You know what I mean? And I'm one of these brothers that knows that you get in the head, the ass will follow. Okay, so. And I'm gonna get in your head, but I ain't trying to do anything with you, brother. I'm a married man, and I don't swing that way. So, if you're gonna come as a female, you need to take a back seat and listen up to what I'm saying and everything. Now, if you're gonna come at me as a man, because you want to get all loud, and I say, see, this is the problem. You're talking and behaving as if you say you dressed up. You dressed up in women clothing, you put on lipstick, and you got the wig on and all that, but you're talking and your behavior sound very strong, like you trying to bully. Carl, you hear me? You've been on this space. You sound like you trying to bully. And that sounds a little masculine, buddy. I say so, you can't be one. You're gonna have to choose which one you're gonna be. Okay. If you're gonna be a female, all right, be a female. But if you're trying to bully me like a man in a skirt, brother, I'm gonna tell you something. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Oh, I just don't like you. And then they got mad and kicked me out the space and everything.
Oh man, it got mad and it kicked you out of space.
Yes, it kicked me out of space. Kicked me out to space.
I guess it got emotional.
Got all emotional or everything. Couldn't handle it and everything. So I'm always concerned about people, when you make these observations, you want to call someone black or you want to call it someone that wants to, identify as female, identify as a man. And then when you challenge your mom, because I'm very open about it. If that's what you say you are, then you need to be able to articulate and defend it in such a way that you don't lose. You don't get, if I'm a heterosexual man, I can defend my bed. I like talking to natural women. When women are natural women, they can articulate and hold their own without losing themselves. Every time I'm in the presence of talking to people who like to live this, I'm a woman, I'm a man, if they're not comfortable with themselves, they can't have an intelligent conversation because they want to control the narrative. Have you ever noticed that when you're talking to people who, in this, transition and where they're at, is that sometimes they don't know how to, have a conversation unless it's controlled by their narrative. Have you ever noticed that, Carl? Yeah, my wife said, yeah. Have you ever noticed that, Joe?
Yes, I've noticed that, me, Sean, and it's very troubling that they try to make it like they're protecting the collective.
Yes.
We're protecting the collective. We gonna shut you down. You can't speak. We don't want to hear this because you are not speaking on behalf of the collective. Come on, please.
Yeah, yeah. How do you, what makes you, this is another reason, and this is another reason why this came up. There were no women, no natural women that was on the stage. This individual comes up to speak for women. And so it wasn't me that started it. Some other brother said, listen, you ain't even a woman. We need some women to talk. We don't need, I'm speaking because I'm speaking for women. I said, how can you speak for a woman and you're a man? I said, how you going to be speaking for women and you're a man? Okay. And that's where it all got started. And like, I said, I said, listen, I'd rather hear from Nicole. You know how I feel about Nicole, but I'd rather hear from Nicole than to hear you talking to me about things that pertaining to women. Now, you can sit on the sidelines and everything, but you don't get to come up here in this space among natural men and you gonna dictate what women like, and you a man dressed up like a woman. Now, am I being? If I'm wrong,
But that is
somebody tell me. Am I
exemplary.
wrong?
That's
Is that?
exemplary. That you're not wrong. That's exemplary of some serious delusion right there. That's delusion at its finest.
The emperor has no clothes on, and you supposed to say yes, he does.
Right. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for bringing that up. Right. Emperor walking. I mean, is it a parable, a farable? What's that? What they call it?
Fable.
Fable story. The emperor walking down and it took a child. Mama, he ain't got no clothes. Grown adults sounding off on that nonsense. He walking around butt naked. Everybody fearful to tell him, yo, man, you ain't got no clothes on. You naked. Right? Where is the common sense adults in our community? Where the hell how you gonna come up on the
Delusion, bro.
stage? Huh?
Delusion. It's
How
it's
you gonna come up
delusion.
on the stage? We're talking about women issues and how women need to behave, and you are a man dressing up as a woman, and you want to come up here and talk to us about women issues, and you get mad because someone tell you, dude, you are not a woman. You don't get to come up here and talk to us about what's going on with the sisters and everything, and you are not a woman.
They've been playing the part for so long, and ain't nobody checked them on it that they forgot.
And I told the person when I first arrived. I mean, I do remember the first time I arrived, and the person got and I like, because I'm coming from the professional environment, working in a hospital. We had that transgender there, big 300 and some pound white dude with a full beard, brother. Oh my God. We were forced in the hospital, in the operating room. He's a patient assistant. 300 pounds, white guy, wig, full. I mean, no, let his hair grow on out, beard. When lipstick and everything, you knew it was a man. And you knew it was a man. Guess where he dressed out at? In the women, all the women was just, we were forced, the system forced us to deal with that. Okay. And I feel bad. I remember all the guys were saying, how would it be if a female said that she was a male, wanted to dress, we were forced to deal with that in our locker. We said, how would that go? You a female, but you saying you a male, and you come in and dressing out in our walk. We like you know, I don't know that would happen. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna go down too well. Go down too well. I don't know. It never happened, but we felt bad for the women. We talking about doctors, there were nurses, and here's this PA, okay, in the women's locker room. Women, when he would come in there, some of them would not even dress out, wouldn't even unclothes because they felt uncomfortable, okay? Knowing that he was what? A man. Ah, but I was terrible. We were forced to deal with it. So a couple times and everything, and I didn't mean it intentionally. It was a hard, we pulling a patient across, and Terry
When
Terry
black people
pull the
wake
patient
up
over so we can go ahead and put
and
the
become
thing on. Hey, thank you,
intellectually
dude.
independent
Oh, and I'm
enough
like, I mean, he's a happy. So, I mean, excuse. I'm so sorry, Terry. It's okay. I understand. I said, I'm so sorry, Terry. Terry, I mean, no disrespect to you, because Terry was never disrespectful, never was loud, never was like TS, loud and crazy and all overbearing and all that. Was never like that. Was a very, very humble person that wanted to be treated the way that she wanted to be identified. And everybody accommodated it. I mean, it was deep. Everybody accommodated. I mean, do you imagine everybody in the operating room accommodated it? Okay. And we had this brother that was a scrub tech, also female. Wanda came. We all but this dude had a shadow, shadow face, beard, everything. But he was the ugliest woman I ever seen. But this dude is ugly. This is ugly. It's like Wanda. You know that Wanda and Jamie Foxx play.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he was a scrub tech. I'm trying to be respectful. She was a scrub tech. Okay. And I had to train her, come here and big hands bigger than my hand, give me put on glove. I wear 8s, they wear 8.5s. I wear 8 gloves, and this dude wearing 8.5 gloves. Okay, we have to dress. You put on a gown. I wear a 2X. This person got to wear 3X. Okay, yeah, all right, but you dealing with it, and you have to deal with that. The system caused you to treat certain way, but the reality was that if a person came on the space like this person comes on the space, and then you're going to try, I would know for a fact that I will stop this person for trying to talk for women. Who on this space would not do that? I mean, I would hope that women will stop someone who's not actually a woman, a natural woman, for speaking for them. Am I being too harsh?
I mean, but women have been sitting by idly allowing this to happen. All their favorite, gay friends that they went shopping with, they sitting by allowing this to happen, and now you're seeing the results of men, women, men, in these different sports and different spaces. You know what I mean? Like, in sports, taking over. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. And then when you really think about it, I mean, there are guys that are out here signing off on, well, the surgery looks good. She looked like a good looking woman. You know what I mean? So now these women are taking your men, and your options are even more slim. And women should be mad at that. I mean, it's ridiculous. But sitting by idly, voting 92%.
Did you just slide that in? voting 92%. You know, that's what you want. Okay, that's where you want to go. And everything. So anyway, anybody else? We are at the 9:30, almost 9:30 hour. You know,
Yeah, we can go ahead.
you know what's great about I Ain't Your Black show. I Ain't Your Black show is that we come on for at least 3 hours is the max. Okay, but we don't have to be. We try to be intelligent. We seek to be strong, but we don't try to be long. Man, I hate these podcasts on the X Spaces. They act like they have no time limit, brother. They just call. They act like they can just go on and go on like the damn the battery. They just go on. We go. Is there a time limit on this thing, brother? I mean, do y'all just talk? I can't do that. I mean, I put a time limit on myself, man. I'm not. I can't. Maybe that's because I'm from a different generation, So the most I'm going to go is 3 hours, and that's really too long. I think you can't get it in 2 hours. I mean, yeah, save it for the next time. So our show is always Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 7:00. We're gonna be intelligent. We're going to be strong. This is also going to be a safe environment. Nobody going to call you out your name. We don't use the N word. You don't like a whole lot. You might get a little profanity, but that's not what we about. We try to keep things on the upward and intelligent and everything. And, our spaces are small now, but for a couple times, it's about 3 times, Carl, we filled the room, and you filled the room. The whole thing was kind of filled up. The phone, we had a few people here, so we billing on our people going to be coming here and everything. But this is the I Ain't Your Black show, and what we always do, if anybody wants to come up and say a fat last few words and everything to what you heard here, or want to add to it and everything, you are welcome to, give everybody the mic opportunity. You want to speak and say something, you can go and say something. We will be back here tomorrow. We'll be back here Thursday, same time. But if you want to say something, Flip Detroit, you want to say something? Mr. Miles, you want to say something? Even April, I think that's April. You want to say something? You can go ahead and APR. I guess it's APR.
Closing remarks.
Closing remarks. Anything, whatever you go anywhere you want to. It makes no difference. Anybody? Mr. Miles, Flip Detroit, Carl. I know, Carl. You want to start us off?
Great space. Looking forward to tomorrow. I'm very excited about the Black community in politics. We're becoming more astute on what we need for our people. I'm hoping that the education on conservatism and how conservatism is the best ideology for our people, not only in our personhood, but also political. So I'm very excited about the future. Looking forward to conversation, and I'll land with that.
Hey, thank you, Carl. Hey, Mr. Miles, you want to give us some last few words there, bro? Yeah, thank you for showing up, man, and you contribute. You really helped me to tone in a couple of things you dropped and everything. I might even want to start the show off when I listen back to this with something you said. What you want to say, Mr. Miles?
All right. I'm new on this space stuff, so flowers. I can't. What's this? I can't. I ain't you. That's what it say. I ain't you.
No. I ain't your black.
Oh, okay. That's all I can see. I ain't you.
No. It's I Ain't Your Black is the title of
black.
Yeah, I Ain't Your Black show.
No, I was talking about the host. The host name. That's what it said on the thing.
So yeah, it's the same name as the host name.
Black.
I Ain't Your Black.
Okay.
Yeah.
I Ain't Your Black. Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys had a nice space. Nice and respectful. No cursing. That's what I like. Positive. Just all I can say is one day at a time. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
you being. No, yeah, I couldn't, and I really like how you contribute, man. You brought some good stuff here. I'm surprised the Negro didn't show up. No Negro be here with us and everything. He decided to, not hang out with him. I make sure I let him know I called his name up and everything. He didn't say that. Hey, Flip Detroit, you want to say something? You've been sitting here. You want to say something? Give me a thumbs up, thumb down, with it, however you want to do it. All right. Well, Joe, APR, if you want to say something, you can. So, Joe, you can go ahead and take us out and tell everybody where we're going to be tomorrow.
Hey, it's same place, same time. Remember, folks, y'all can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok and YouTube. This show is being live streamed to all those places at the same time. And again, it's hashtag I Ain't Your Black. You will find us. I am hashtag Mr. Just Ask Joe. You can Google that and you'll find just the same everywhere. And it's Uncle Me Sean. Follow us. We'll be here, same place, same time, 7 p.m. And it is, again, the I Ain't Your Black show. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
When black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. And now, the host of I Ain't Your Black, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Meshore.
You gotta be like
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.